Good morning. Today we're going to talk about slipcover skirt styles. I had a couple people interested in my slipcover workshop, and they asked if they had to put on a ruffled skirt. And the short answer to that is no. You don't have to put on any skirt at all. And today I'm going to show you the different skirt styles that you can potentially install on any slipcover. I'm going to take you around my house. I think I might have every skirt style on a slipcover in my house. So I'm going to take you around, show you the different skirt styles, and at the end, the last one I'll show you is going to be the no skirt at all, which is the easiest style slipcover to make, no skirt at all, and the fastest. And then after that, I'm going to show you my next slipcover workshop piece. I have a couple chairs that I have lined up to make slipcovers for, and I'm going to make another really comprehensive slipcover workshop with these chairs. So you'll see those at the end too. So we're going to start right here in my living room. I have these two matching tuxedo sofas, and these are both slipcovered. I used a Revolution fabric, which is not a slipcover fabric, but I thought, you know what? I want to try it and see if this Revolution fabric can hold up to being washed in the washing machine. And the bottom line is it doesn't wash well. It does this weird thing where the dirt doesn't come out. It just kind of moves around in the fabric and makes weird spots in it. So that's a subject for another video. But what I did with this is I ended up actually taking the slipcover off, bringing it outside, putting it on sawhorses, and I pressure washed this fabric to get it clean, and that worked like a charm. That's a subject for a whole nother video, but let's talk about slipcover skirts. So this particular slipcover I made with a waterfall style skirt, and what that means is the skirt is incorporated into the side panel of the slipcover. So the side panel is one full piece of fabric, as well as the front. It comes right off of the deck or the platform and right down the front of the sofa. You can see it does have a box pleated corner kick pleat. You have to have some sort of a pleat. Otherwise, it would just be a tight fitting, which you can do actually, just a tight fitting, no skirt look all the way to the floor if that's the look that you want. But normally a slipcover would have a cut here with a welt, and then there would be a skirt from here down. And I'll show you an example of that. I do have that out on my patio, so you'll see that in a minute. But this is a waterfall skirt. And this is very popular right now, the waterfall style skirts. You see it a lot on furniture that's being sold now. So it's a very nice, chic, minimalist looking, very now style for a skirt is a waterfall style skirt. The next one up. So this is a typical, let me turn off my dishwasher. So this is a typical box pleat style skirt. And as you can see, there's welt here. And so the deck or the platform is this part here, and obviously the fabric is cut right here, and then this piece of fabric is then sewn on separate. Now there's a couple different ways you can do a box pleat. This one I just made out of one piece of fabric and created the box pleat in the fabric. When you're doing upholstery, generally this kick pleat part is a separate piece of fabric, and this front piece will be a panel, this side piece will be a panel, and then this will be a separate panel. That's how it's done typically in upholstery, and it can be done that way in slipcover making too. I have made plenty of slipcovers like that where this is a separate panel from the kick pleat. It is easy to do that way. I did not do it here because I had very little of this fabric, so I just kept it the same. And you could potentially just not put pleats in here and have this just be a tight skirt. However, when you sit at the chair, the reason it's called a kick pleat is because when you have your feet here, you need to be able to kick your feet back and forward. And if this didn't have these pleats, this fabric would just be tight across here like a trampoline, and you wouldn't be able to put your feet back. which would make it super uncomfortable. So this is just a kick pleat or a box pleated skirt, a tailored box pleated skirt. On to the next one. So we're out here in my sunroom, or my Florida room, as I like to call it, and I've got two examples of skirts here. This one, I actually didn't make this slipcover. This is a Restoration Hardware sofa that came with this slipcover. And this has a pretty typical box pleated skirt, and it has a welt here. This is pretty typical, where the fabric comes over the edge and then starts down here. I prefer to start my skirts just a little bit higher so that my skirts are a little bit longer. I like to start my skirts right at the edge of the platform or the deck. I just like the look of it better. That's just a personal preference. It looks a little squatty to me when it starts down the way a little bit. I would have started it maybe 2 inches higher right here. This is a ruffled or a gathered skirt. If you are somebody who signed up for my if you are somebody who signed up for my slipcover workshop, then you now know how to do this. This is the exact slipcover that I made in my slipcover workshop. With this slipcover, if you can make this slipcover, you could slipcover anything. Because we covered so many different aspects of slip covering, you can make anything at that point. But this is a ruffled or a gathered skirt, and it is a very simple skirt to make. There's a variety of ways you can make it. I made mine self-lined, which means the same fabric on the inside as the outside. So self-lined, that's just what it means, is it's lined with itself. You could potentially line this with an alternative fabric, like a drapery lining, or basically any other inexpensive lining that you wanted to use. You could do that. But I like to self-line on these because it gives the skirt nice body and fullness, and it just looks very luxurious. And it makes the process way easier. It's a little bit more expensive because you do have to buy more fabric to self-line, but it does make the skirt assembly really fast and easy. Next, I'm gonna show you a no slip cover option. This corner of my Florida room is pretty dingy. I really need to remake this slip cover really bad. I bought some fabric to do it, and I don't love it in here because it's a wide stripe, and that chaise lounge is also a wide stripe, and so it's just too much stripe next to stripe. So I need to find another fabric for this. These little cubes are actually slip covers. These cubes I bought from somebody on Facebook Marketplace. I believe they just came from IKEA. They're just cheap little cubes, and I made these quick slip covers for them. And this is a super, super easy project that anyone can do. Let me move them out of the way so you can see the no skirt slip cover option. So if you want the easiest possible slip cover, this is it. Not necessarily a wing chair. A wing chair is actually a little bit difficult to slip cover. However, if you're gonna make the Parsons chair I'm going to show you next is the absolute easiest style of furniture or chair to slip cover. But if you're going to do a wing chair, the chair can be a little bit challenging. If you want to simplify it, making it a no skirt slip cover is the way to go. And that's exactly what this is. It's just the body of the slip cover continuing down to the bottom edge. And on this one, you'll see that there is Velcro on here. There's a Velcro panel here sewn onto the bottom edge, and you'll see there's welt on the bottom edge, and that just finishes off the bottom of the slip cover so that it looks very professional and finished. And then I stapled Velcro to the bottom of the chair, and that holds this slip cover in place and gives this a nice tight finish. Now this slip cover is very old and it needs to just be thrown away, but I gotta find some new fabric. But this is definitely the easiest style to do, is no skirt, zero skirt. Let me show you the easiest style of chair to slip cover, and the victim of my next slip cover workshop is gonna be this chair. So here we are in my foyer, and this is the absolute easiest chair to slipcover. This is a Parsons chair, and this one happens to be the IKEA, I believe it's the IKEA Hendrix doll is the name of it. The bottom is not on here, but this is a great place to start if you are wanting to learn how to make a slipcover and you're a beginner sewer. You could do this with no skirt, like the wing chair that I showed you, and that you could do in a matter of a couple hours. Legitimately, no joke. You could do this chair if you weren't gonna put a skirt on it as a beginner in a matter of 2 hours. I'm not exaggerating, you could do it. So if you have a dining table and you've got these Parsons chairs, you could easily do 6 Parsons chairs, possibly in a weekend, or maybe in a couple weekends, if you were to kind of batch process, do all of your cutting and then do all of your sewing, all of your piping, just batch process in that way. You could probably get a set of 6 chairs done as a beginner in probably 2 weekends. And then if you are a more advanced sewer, you could add on a box pleated skirt, a gathered skirt. You could even do a small ruffled skirt on here, or a pencil pleated skirt on here. There's just so many options you could do with Parsons chairs. I think Parsons chairs are a really classic style that can work in so many settings, and they're so easy. I've almost always had Parsons chairs in my dining room because they're so easy to slipcover that I just always had them. This is the first set of dining chairs that I've had that are not Parsons chairs, because I really love them. I think the style is really transitional and versatile, and you can make them work with any decor or any setting. So anyways, if you're interested in learning how to slipcover, I do have that full slipcover workshop already available for that chaise lounge with the ruffled skirt. It is very comprehensive and goes very deep into slipcover making. So if you're interested in learning how to slipcover, you can click on the link in the description box below and you can get that workshop right now. It is available. Stay tuned for this one, which will be a very beginner project, but also very comprehensive. And if you have any questions about slipcover making, feel free to put it in the comments and I will get back to you ASAP. Thanks for being here, y'all. I'll see you on the next one.